Hello. I think we're live this time. Hello and welcome to Backflips and Nerds, the baseball podcast with a British twist. Apologies for the technical snafus as we navigate our way around a brand new, shiny, brilliant recording platform that also allows us to stream and have high definition camera, so you get to see my face very up close and very shiny. But you know, thank you for bearing with us, the literal ones of you who have joined us on YouTube this evening for 4 people to fill in a spreadsheet live. You are going to have the thrill of a lifetime, and we've got the OG BFN crew, the 4 of us who started out, as we always do once a year, to come together and prognosticate about the 2025 Major League Baseball season. So Tom, Darius, Ben, are we all ready to go?
Yes.
I think so.
Ready as we'll ever be.
So we've got 2,430 wins to parcel out. First time we tried to go live, I got that wrong. So at least that's an improvement. Darius, are you going to be able to explain to the people watching at home, the people listening on their tiny little magical devices, exactly how this is going to work?
I am. I will do that right now. So I'm going to put a spreadsheet on the screen which will track our win totals. But basically what we're going to do is we will go round the group. We'll take turns throwing out a win total. We will have a stupid argument about said win total, and we will arrive at a number. John mentioned the 2,430. You can see that at the top of your screen. So that number will go down as we predict, and at the end we will arrive probably one or side or the other wrong of that number. It will usually be too high, and then we'll go back around a few teams and say, well, maybe the White Sox are a 34 win team instead of a 38 win team. And until we get that number to 0. That's pretty much it. We try and do it in an hour. Unlike the waffly B team in their hour and 40 minutes, and hopefully you'll
There's
enjoy.
not going to be what Seth Brown's sprint speed on this either,
No.
but I have threatened to compare all of the teams in Major League Baseball to some of the stupidly named random bands that I listen to, so I might not do that for all of them, but just as it takes my fancy and if we've got time to do it. Are we all ready to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's going first? Should we let the person with the least knowledge go first, and then at least he can pick the one team that he knows about? Just get the Padres out of the way nice and early, Tom, and then people will just feel like they've recognised that you did a lot of prep on one team, and they won't be paying any attention when you're literally trying to name anybody on the Toronto Blue Jays in about 45 minutes' time. So, Tom, you go first, you pick the Padres, and then we'll have a chat amongst ourselves and you can listen.
LA Dodgers, 105 wins because they're really good. That's it. They're really good, and they are really good.
Any more than that?
No, they're really good. Well, apart from Mookie Betts being really, really ill, which sounds properly miserable. But I think the Dodgers are just great again, and I don't think there's going to be any dispute. Maybe the number will go down a little bit, but I think 105 seems sensible.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be honest. This is a team that won the World Series with pitchers you've literally never heard of. So they're going to be incredibly good. Any over or under from Ben and Darius in terms of 105?
I went lower. Not that I'm.
Oh, he's done some prep, has he?
Not that I'm overly worried about the Dodgers, because they're still going to be very, very good. I think I put 97 down, so like this is still a good team. But I don't know, they're getting a bit older. This bet stuff is not good. I do think there are genuine worries about this lineup, but the rotation's so good. There's so much depth. Like their floor is so high. So even my like worried prediction for the Dodgers still has them in the upper 90s. So I'm not going to fight you too much on this.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so what are we going to put in? Are we going to put in 105 and then we can revisit it shortly, right?
Let's put 105 and we'll revisit.
I do have a band for this one, by the way.
Oh, nice.
They've got to be the Travelling Wilburys, right? Roy
Obviously,
Orbison, Jeff
literally
Lynne.
never heard of them.
You've never heard of the Travelling Wilburys, for goodness sake. It's a band that had George Harrison, Roy Orbison, Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty in it. You know, some of the greatest songwriters of all time, all on the same stage. The Travelling Wilburys are going to win 105.
I've done my prep for the night,
Don't make me tap my imaginary watch.
Right,
okay, who wants to go next? Ben, why don't you go next, because you've done some prep.
Okay, I'm not going to make it linear and have it make sense where we do like a division at a time like the B team. We're going to just go somewhere random now. Let's go to the Boston Red Sox. I like the Boston Red Sox this year. I think they're going to be a good team. Lineup looks deep. They've got star talent at the top of it. Obviously, Bregman, the latest addition to that list. But I also like some of the younger guys who are going to make the opening day roster. It looks like Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, those guys are good. It looks like Devers might be DHing after all, so that's funny given everything that we went through at the start of spring training. But I don't think that's a bad thing when you can fit these extra guys into your lineup. And then Garrett Crochet, he's an ace, and that's kind of what I felt like they've been missing for a little while. He's a stud. You add him in, it gives your rotation much more depth, although I'm a little bit worried about what versions of Giolito and Buehler they'll get in terms of both health and how effective those guys are. But I think the Red Sox are a good team. I'm throwing 88 wins out there for the Boston Red Sox.
I like it. I mean, I'm biased. I think this is the best Boston Red Sox team for a few years, probably since 2018, actually. I think the additions of Crochet and Buehler and Bregman are huge. Campbell and Anthony are studs. I'm slightly more bullish than you, but I'm happy to go with 88 for right now. And anyone want to push back?
The pushback is it's the AL East, but the Yankees seem like they're falling apart. The Blue Jays haven't lived up to potential, and the Orioles refuse to actually push all their chips in. So I could see us coming back to this and going, we need to take some wins off someone, but I'm not objecting. I think the Red Sox are an above average team, like probably all of these teams are.
Cool, stick it in. Punch it. 88. Darius, you go next.
Let's go for... let's just do the Angels, because we normally save them and we don't actually have anything to argue about anymore. The Angels are a bad baseball team.
Are we finally down on the Angels?
My only question is, are they going to avoid losing 100 games again somehow? I think probably yes, but I think they're going to not avoid it by much. I'm going to say 65.
Okay, I mean, there's no pushback whatsoever. They're absolutely wretched. The only thing that's making me vaguely interested in the Angels this year is that Michael Peterson might play for them at some point, although he was optioned to AAA last week, which makes me hate them even more. So they could get lost. They've just signed a load of bad players, and Yusei Kikuchi for some reason. They're average, 65. I like it.
It also feels like...
always give them wins, can't we, if we need to?
Yeah. No, we don't need to.
It feels like we're at the sad point of Mike Trout's career now too, where it's like, oh, let's just enjoy him while he's healthy. A bit like the old dog who, still has a good day in him, and you just want to make sure he's having a good time. It is really sad, but that would be the only reason to watch the Angels this year, unfortunately.
I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch an old dying dog.
What if that old dying dog hits 30 home runs?
I mean, look, it's the stranger things have happened. I mean, there are literally films about this, right? Well, no, Air Bud, that's basketball, but I guess Mike Trout is the Air Bud of MLB. Okay, it's me, and I'm gonna play straight and easy. I'm gonna pick the Chicago White Sox, who are about as appealing as the Scottish death metal band Coffin Mulch. They're about as useful as it as well. So the Chicago White Sox are absolutely awful. I think they are going to win 53 games, and they'll be lucky to get that.
Wow.
I can't disagree. They got worse, if anything, over the off-season, and they lost 120 games. So.
They have. The only thing stopping me go over 120 is that was even though they were terrible last year, that was a freak outcome.
Correct.
They were unlucky to be that bad. They were still one of the worst teams of all time, but they weren't probably the worst team of all time.
Still, are they going to get more than 53 wins? Probably not.
Probably not. No, I don't think they've got any reason to try. So 53.
Still got Andrew Benintendi, haven't they? So
he is really, really bad and also injured. But good that you remembered to play it, Tom. Well done.
Yes.
It's back to you.
Shall we go with... should we go with the Braves? They're usually quite good, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the Atlanta Braves. I think... is Acuna injured at the moment? No, it's not Acuna. Who's injured at the moment?
Strider's still not back yet. Acuna's still not back yet. They both should be back fairly early on in the season, but they are currently hurt.
So I think they're winning that division, aren't they? They look likely to win that division. So I'm going to go 92 wins.
But, you go for it. No, they're
92.
not. That's too many, but we'll come back to it. Well done.
I'm with Tom.
Yes.
Are you?
I've got them having a better record than the Dodgers. I'm sorry to say.
Wow.
Goodness
Yeah,
me.
they're great, and when those guys come back, they'll be even better.
That seems.
Last year was a down year, and they still won. What was it? 92 games? No, less than that. 88 or something. But they're going to be good.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let
Right, I'm putting
maybe Tom
92
knows more than any of us. Ben, it's you again.
God, who am I going to go with? Let's go someone in the NL Central, and then we get one team from each division. Let's do the Milwaukee Brewers. I think they're going to be good. I think all the teams in this division are kind of weird, and we can get onto that at some point, but I think the Brewers are kind of the best of a bad bunch. It's just kind of hard to count them out at this point. It seems like every year they find a way to put a good team out there, even when their roster on paper doesn't look great. Obviously, Woodruff coming back will be huge. I don't think he's going to be ready for the start of the season, but that's great. And then the other four are passable. Nestor Cortez, obviously the new name in there. Peralta, Savale, Quintana. It does feel like they need Jackson Churio to become like an immediate MVP candidate, but it also feels like he might. And then guys like Yelich, Turang, Frelick, my breakout candidate, Hoskins, who had a great spring training. Those guys need to be a lot better than the projections say, but I think a couple of them will be, because the lineup every year is just not great, is it? So yeah, same story as usual for the Brewers. They're a battle too light, but I still think they're going to win this division, and I think they're going to win 85 games to do so.
I can't really see an argument. I think that again, this is going to be a bunched up division. There's no actual good teams in it, are there? To be honest, but there's no bad ones. There is some bad ones, but we'll get to them when we get to them. Darius, it's you.
It's me. Who should we do? What's going to be nice and easy? The Giants are mid. They are the fourth best team in that division, but the Rockies exist, so 78 wins.
Okay, that was a nice, quick, and easy one. I am gonna go Central as well. I'm gonna stay in the AL Central, and I'm gonna go for the Detroit Tigers, the Cinderella story of last year's playoffs. I think they're pretty good. I mean, we saw high-end outcomes for a lot of those players like McKinstry and Colt Keith and Kerry Carpenter at the back end of last season. But if they can maintain somewhere near that level, then I think they can be good again. Riley Green is a great player. I really like the addition of Gleyber Torres. I like them having Jack Flaherty left, provided that his arm is not as bad as the contract portends. I think they're a pretty good team. I think they have a sniff of winning that division. Whether they do or not, we'll see. Their rotation's good. Scooble, having Jackson Jobe in there, and Casey Mize back, which is amazing. I think they're pretty good, the Detroit Tigers. I think they're an 83 win team.
You say winning the division as well?
They've got a sniff of it.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they're going to win the division with 83. I was like,
I think the best team in that division is the Twins, but the Twins are the best team in that division every year, and it doesn't always correlate. Yeah, 83 Tigers. Anyone want to fight me?
I think that sounds sensible.
I think they'll regress a bit. They were so good to end the season, but the lineup is, to use a technical term, cheeks, and however good the rotation is, I'm not sure it carries them all the way to the title. So I've got them just below 500, but I'm not going to fight you on it. I'll save that for later.
Great.
Save that for later. Right, so 83.
Right, Tom, it's back round to you.
Can I pick the Marlins? The Marlins.
Marlins.
They're a really bad team, aren't they? They've not got
a
better.
really bad team. Yeah.
So I think they're going to lose. They're going to lose one more than last year, and they're going to lose 100. Was it 100 games they lost last year? Yeah, they're going to lose 101 this year. So they're only going to get 61 wins because they're not a very good team.
I could see us taking more off the Marlins because I think Peter Benjix is trying so hard to just trade everything of value away. And so as soon as Sandy Alcantara looks like he's healthy, he's gone. It's just everything out the door as soon as they've got any value.
They absolutely suck. I think 101 is generous. But let's stick it in for now and see if we come back to it. Love that Darius just did the maths. that you American people are like, what's that? Ben, over to you.
I will go with let's stay in that division and we'll do the New York Mets, my favourite team. Second favourite team. I think this rotation's in trouble already, which is not good. Obviously, Montes and Manaea already injured. Clay Holmes starting on opening day, which, good for Clay Holmes, who saw that coming, but that is kind of a concern if you're a Mets fan, that he's now your number one. But that being said, and that is important, this lineup is going to rake. I mean, Soto is a stud. You surround him with Lindor and Alonso and add in, whatever you get from Nimmo, Winker, Alvarez, whatever Brett Beatty turns out to be this year, etc. There is some really good hitters in this lineup, and I think they will be one of the better offenses in the National League. But yeah, there's concerns still about the rotation. I don't know what Senga's going to be when he comes back. How many innings you're going to get out of him. So it feels like, again, this could be a Mets team that wins 100 games or wins 80. I'm going to kind of split the difference and put them down for 89 wins, competitive in that very good division, but probably not winning it.
I think it's fine. I'm not going to argue with that.
You had the Braves winning it, you think, Ben?
I did, yeah. But I think the Braves, Phillies and Mets are all going to be good, right? I think there'll only be a few wins between them.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Great. Darius, it's over to you.
Let's make the Yankees fans mad. How bad is this going to get without Cole? Without Heel.
They haven't got a rotation, have they? I know that much. I know
rotation.
They just don't have
Carlos,
a rotation.
Carlos Carrasco's in the rotation. That's how it's going for the Yankees right now.
Premier reliever Marcus Stroman is also in the rotation.
I kind of don't mind the Paul Goldschmidt bounce back in Yankee Stadium, but I do have concerns about some of the depth here. The depth in the rotation's already gone. And if Judge gets hurt again, then I think they're in real big trouble. So,
old tennis elbows.
Old tennis elbow Stanton might just be gone. Might be it. We might never see Giancarlo Stanton again. Who knows? But it's not great.
That's wild.
That's not based on a report. That's just based on them saying he might miss the season because of having elbows. I think.
I want to know what Giancarlo Stanton was up to over the off season that transpired to happen to him.
And then he had a calf injury, so he couldn't use his elbows, so he thought, I'll injure another part of... I don't know.
That man is
just in half raises the entire time.
He's made of glass. I did have a band for this, by the way. Another death metal band, Polish death metal band, Decapitated, immediately sprung to mind because they no longer have the top of their rotation. Have you got a number for them?
Have I got a number? In conclusion, I'm going to say 87.
I think that's generous.
I think it could be worse.
Is that high?
I think right now, I mean, they still probably have the best hitter in the league, so that counts for a lot.
Come on, rile them up, Darius. Say 65.
85. You want to say 85? We're saying 85.
I was going to say 65.
65.
No, I think 85 feels
78.
more realistic.
85 is
85,
fair.
fine.
Oh, it's actually a chart. It's all over the shop. Tampa Bay and Toronto.
They're in the same...
They just seem to want to join up together. I don't know why. Do one of those teams and we can split them.
And your wins. There's still 2,430 wins remaining, which is exciting for us.
That is exciting.
I'm sure you can work out what's
Give them all to the Rockies.
Hey! And also, didn't we do a team in the NL Central? Which now I think it was the Milwaukee Brewers were going to win 85 games.
Oh, did we do them so quickly? I didn't even write them down.
Perhaps.
Doesn't like that take.
Okay, cool. It's me. I want to talk about the Seattle Mariners. The best rotation in baseball. One of the worst lineups in baseball. What on earth have they done over the off season? Just an absolutely extraordinary mess of a franchise. Great that they've extended Kyle Raleigh. He's a fun player, but they don't really have anybody else who can hit the cover off the ball in that ridiculous stadium where it's hard enough to hit it out. I think they're an absolute shambles, and they should be able to win that division as it's currently configured. But their pitching is so good. So I still think there's a possibility that they could sneak through a Texas Houston punch out and win the division. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they could. I think Seattle, they're going to be a nudge above 500. I think they're an 83 win team.
No disagreements. Did you see they just signed Cal Raleigh to a big extension?
I did.
Big dumper.
Big
That's
extension. Exciting times.
But yeah, I'm with you.
Sounds good. Lock it in.
Lock it in. Sorry, what was the number then?
83.
83.
Do you want to push back on me?
No, I mean it's not 54%, is it? But I'll settle for it. It's close enough.
Tom,
should we talk about the Padres, who have a completely broken rotation, but not as bad as the Yankees? The lineup's still good. It's missing Soto, unfortunately. But I still think they come second in that division. I think the lineup's still going to be pretty good for them. Jackson Merrill's looking quite sprightly and fun, so he should be good for the team. Obviously the Padres need to see a bit more from Xander Bogaerts because he's been pretty poor so far. Let's think. Where should we put them then? So, are they going to outscore Arizona? I think they might finish the same as Arizona with 87. Coming joint second in that division. Any thoughts?
Okay, no. There's definitely a bit of hometown bias in that number. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not as good as Arizona.
I don't think the 87 is necessarily biased, but I do think the Diamondbacks are a bit better than the Padres.
I'm with Tom again.
Oh,
this is concerning me now, but I'm with him in terms of number, and I also think they're as good as the Diamondbacks.
Yes, thank you, Ben.
Goodness me.
This is good.
Fair enough. Stick it in. I don't. Everything I once knew to be true is proved to be false.
I reckon Ben's just on a heel turn. He's just going to join me as the
having an existential crisis. I've been following this sport for years, and I've got in nothing more than Tom.
There's a guy's a nihilist.
He's done all this research, and he's just come out with the same conclusion as you.
Yeah.
Which is tomgraphs.com. What was I thinking?
Mate.
Ben, it's you. So get me. Tom Graphs booted up.
Let's do another NL Central team then, and let's go with the Chicago Cubs, seeing as they're second in our little leaderboard there. I don't really know what to make of the Cubs. The bad news is you're already 0-2. That's not a great start to the season. The good news is you've got 2 games against the Dodgers out of the way already. That is a good start to your season. I obviously love the Kyle Tucker acquisition. Gives them a genuine middle-of-the-order bat. Pete Crow Armstrong's really fun, both at the plate, on the bases, in the field. And I think there's depth to the lineup with some of the other guys that are in there. Obviously Swanson, Happ, Suzuki. I like the lineup, but the rotation concerns me. Imanaga was great last year. I don't know if he'll be able to repeat that this year. Then below him, Steele's fine. I guess Tyone gives you innings. Matt Boyd, maybe he did put it all together at the end of last year. It doesn't feel like a very strong rotation to me, and I don't think there's the depth there if you do lose, Imanaga, or if he underperforms. So I've got them winning 84 games, just above 500. It feels like it's so easy to put all of these teams just around 500 and flip a coin to see who comes out on top. I think they'll be one of the better teams, but I don't have them winning the division. I think they'll be a little bit worse than the Brewers.
They're really weird, that team. Like, I could just as equally see them being deadline sellers as winning 84 games, and I would be not surprised with either outcome.
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit more optimistic because I think they could have one of the highest scoring lineups in the league, but I don't disagree about the rotation being a bit questionable. Behind Imanaga and Steele.
Stick 84 in. There's too much agreement on this. I'm worried.
What if we get to the end and we've got 0 wins just in one run through? And we're like, cool, we're done in 30
It'd be
minutes.
like when you go and put petrol in your car. Americans, that's gas, and you get like a bang on 20 quid. That's what that would be. No better feeling in life.
Do people still do that?
Well, yeah, of course I do, mate. Look, I'm 41 years old, childless man. I get my kicks where I can. Okay, Darius, it's you.
Let's do Mike Elias's cheapo Orioles. Kyle Gibson going to be in the rotation, obviously.
so honest to God,
It's the most depressing thing. The Orioles deserve
Probably
to
Kyle
lose the
Gibson's
division
still
by
going.
like a game, just because they can't be bothered to actually spend on anybody. So I'm gonna say. Am I gonna say worse than the Red Sox? Don't think I can do it. I think the lineup's too good. I'm gonna say 90 because the lineup's still really good.
I don't know. I think okay. No, I think 90's fine. I think 90's fine. I'll let you have that one. All right, it's me, innit? Right, who do I want to talk about? Ooh, Kansas City. I seem to want to stick in the AL Central, so I'm not going to. I think the Washington Nationals are going to be like what the Pirates were last year, this year. Like, surprisingly quite good. They have some pretty fun players. Your James Woods, your other, what's the name of the shortstop who came from you guys, Tom?
Abrams.
That's the fella.
Abrams.
Yeah.
Well done.
He did.
I heard Ben say it's fine.
Yeah, I think they're going to be quite good. Like, I don't think they're going to be amazing, but they're one of the teams who are around the corner now. And I think it's going to be a promising season for them, with some fun players, something to get behind for the first time in a while. I still think they'll have a losing season, but it won't be an absolute rotter. I think they'll win 76 games.
That is exactly how many games the Pirates won last year. So
There you go, I remembered.
Check you out.
I didn't. But thanks.
I have no arguments. There's a bunch of free wins from Miami in that division.
Yeah.
I think they're in the 70s.
Mackenzie Gore is their ace, which, yeah, it's all right.
James
he's
Wood
good.
is good. Yeah.
He's all right.
Feels a bit
now-
like.
Then go on.
Just going to say, I feel like a bit like those young guys kind of have to show it now, right? Like, for years we've been hearing about how they won the Soto trade and look at all this young talent, and they've been on top of prospect lists and all the rest of it. I want to see them do it at the major league level. I think they can, and I think your prediction is fair if they do that. But I also think the wheels could kind of easily come off if those guys struggle and suddenly it's like, oh, hang on, what actually are we building around here? But I have no problem with 76.
Great.
Sweet.
Tom Pringle.
Oh, I need to pick a team.
Yeah.
Let's go with... Do you know what? I had a moment of confusion when I saw Sack. It got me a bit confused, but I remembered now. Should we talk about Ben's Rockies? Should we talk about them?
Yay.
They're bad, aren't they?
They are.
Next team.
Have they done anything in the off season?
They signed Kyle Farmer, obviously.
Tyro Estrada, who was DFA'd and nobody wanted him last
Right.
season. They signed him to
And he just got injured.
And now he's
And he got injured, and then they traded away one of their players who could be good. Not necessarily would be good, but could be. So yeah, they are extraordinarily awful, and who even knows what they're doing up there.
And if you knew the Rockies rotation 10 years ago and guessed based on that, you would actually be more than 50% correct about who's still in it. Because it's the same guys.
Because they've been so good for that whole decade, right?
So good. Antonio Senzatella has just been raking.
Wow. Shall I give them a number?
Yeah, that's the game.
I think they're thanks. I think they're not going to get 100 losses. I think they're going to be better than that. I believe in this Rockies team.
I don't.
So I'm going to say 63 wins.
Absolutely not.
Definitely losing 100 games.
This team is putrid.
I think this was one of the things we were the closest on last year, was Ben just coming straight in and going, the Rockies are terrible, they will lose 100 games.
I just don't think they're a serious franchise. They just don't act the way that they do if you actually care about winning games. I don't care what they go out and say publicly. They do have some exciting young players, which is the sad thing. Doyle's great, Tovar's cool. I'm really excited about what we can get from Chase Dollander if he ever makes it into the majors, if they don't break him before then. But the rest of the team is so bad. The rotation is the worst in the majors by a distance. I think, especially in that division, I think they'll do well not to lose 110 games, honestly. I've got them down for like 56.
I mean, I really have got nothing to come back to you. I kind of like, look, I don't have a band for this one because I couldn't really think of a band from Colorado who take a lot of drugs. And there's probably a lot of them. Yeah, I mean, not going with the Rockies' puritanical ethos, but, you know, God, they're terrible. Just put them out of their misery.
So we're going with Ben's number and not Tom's number.
What was Tom's number?
I said 63.
Oh, yeah, it's less than that.
58.
Yeah, okay. Put 58 in.
We're taking the wins off them later.
No,
Guaranteed.
we can always take more.
100%.
Same with the Marlins as well, isn't it?
Ben.
Let's do the Phillies and finish off the NL East then. I think the Phillies will be good again. I don't think they'll win the division. I can't remember why I didn't think they were going to win the division, because they have a really good rotation. Obviously, Wheeler, Nola, they're going to be there forever, churning out 200 quality innings. Sanchez, Suarez, I think Luzardo, it looks like he's going to be the fifth member of that rotation, which is cool. And if he's your fifth starter with the upside he has, I don't hate that at all. And then the lineup, all the same names from last year, right? Harper, Turner, Schwarber, Castellanos. They've even added our old friend Max Kepler. Maybe he'll run into some magic this year with the Phillies. My only concern, I think, was more around aging. Now, this is a very old squad, and at some point it feels like a couple of these guys might fall off the cliff, become washed, so to speak, and it does feel like this might be a year where a couple of those guys, either through performance slowing down or just injuries, find that age catches up to them. So that's why I had them maybe not winning the division. I had them for 89 wins. I mean, that's still a very good team in a very good division. And yeah, that's the only thing I can nitpick with them really is, maybe the age catches up to them. But I mean, they've been so good for a couple of years now, and that rotation's so strong that it doesn't feel like there's a very low floor for them.
14 of the roster are over 30. That seems like a lot.
Dave Dombrowski, mate.
Mm.
That's how he works. That team is going to be good until all of a sudden it's extraordinarily bad. I don't think it's going to be this year, but it might be quite soon.
Yeah, I think they need to win pretty soon. It's coming.
What number did you say, Ben? I missed that.
I said 89, same as the Mets.
We're having another tiebreaker, non-tiebreaker.
Stick it in.
Fine.
Just to make Russell upset.
Just to make Russ upset. Good stuff.
It's you.
It's me. Let's do Tom's favourite, SAC. Baseball prospectus policy is to call them Sacramento Athletics because they are playing in Sacramento and John Fisher doesn't get to pretend they're not. So we will be calling them Sacramento. And I think they are fine. I'm not really all in on the A's might make the playoffs bandwagon, as I might have outlined previously here. There's just a lot of question marks here. Yes, Brent Rooker is very good. Lawrence Butler looks very good. There's a lot of dross. The rest of the place, I don't think they really know who their rotation is. They're going to mess around with it all season. A lot of big holes, a lot of, filler. Gio Urshela is going to be taking a lot of third base reps. It's not, high quality stuff out here in Oakland. So I think they'll be all right. They're better than the Angels, but it's kind of a 74 win team to me.
Yeah, no arguments whatsoever. Name another player on that team, and other than Severino, and you're doing all right. Jeffrey Springs, that was a weird trade. Yeah, I've got no arguments whatsoever.
Agree.
All right. Since we're starting to complete some of these, I'm gonna complete the NL West with the Arizona Diamondbacks, who, unlike Ben and Tom Graffs, I think are very good. I mean, Corbin Carroll is a mega star. Their rotation is really good. They've got some really promising players coming through, like Pavin Smith. I think their ceiling is really high, and if they get anywhere close to meeting it, they're going to be a very good team this year. I think they're better than the Padres, definitely the sort of rotting rotation Padres that we're seeing. I think they are a 90 win team, 90 on the nose.
I support this 90 win prediction.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean, we're
Well,
split
Matt-
50-50, aren't we? 'Cause Ben and I believe in this Padres team.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No.
So
You're suggesting that Ben doesn't either. That's a bit awkward.
I don't know what Ben. I don't know. I've never known Ben like this. I'm worried for him.
I don't know what I'm
I'm
talking
really
about.
interested. I don't know what's going on. This is really good, though.
I'm fine with that. I think they're going to be those two teams are close for me, like closer than some people think. But I'm fine with having a D-backs a couple of games better than the Padres, even if only because it distances me from Tom's takes.
In the year 2025,
We're gonna hear about this if the Padres here for a second, don't we?
Fair enough. I'll own it. In the year 2025, is Corbin Carroll a more valuable player than Manny Machado? Yes, he is.
I was wondering if there's any way, I don't know who would be interested in doing this, but to go back for all of our predictions and see what everyone's first prediction was for the score, what they got talked to, and then see what the difference was and who was actually close.
Sounds like a really good project. You should take that on.
I'll chat to Russell.
Well, someone would just have to listen back to the podcast, Tom, because
Yeah,
I don't
that's
write
exactly
down
how
what
you-
we first put.
That's exactly how you do it, Tom. Or you can get an AI scraper to do it
Yeah,
for
there
you
you go.
these days, can't you?
Well, I'll get tech support Ben on the case.
Great, Tom. It's your pick. I see you're avoiding talking about baseball teams by talking shit as usual, but do crack on.
Astros, they're usually good. 88, done. Next.
Is that it? Any more? Can you name two players on the Astros?
Altuve
Correct.
and Justin Verlander.
Incorrect.
No.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what position Altuve is?
He's playing second base.
This is a fun one. Not anymore.
Oh, where's he playing now?
He plays left field now.
Quite badly.
Very
The
badly.
giant is Altuve. He's playing left field.
And,
Yeah,
and Justin
pick up the
Verlander is a
boxes.
giant.
Oh, well, there you go.
That worked out well.
Yeah.
Oh well, you had a go, didn't you? Jeremy Pena, you could have had him. Have you heard of him?
Wasn't he?
Martin Maldonado probably still plays for them.
He does not, but I think somebody here does know where
I
he
did see
is.
that on another team.
All right, Houston are good though. They've got a decent rotation. They've got good players. Cam Smith has made the team, which is fun. Who
Christian
they
Walker.
traded? Christian Walker, yeah, I think I like that signing for them. I like that.
He is good.
He is. We know you accidentally once picked him in a fantasy league and then he was good, so you now know that he's good. It's one of your favourite stories, that one. Houston,
I'm not really.
what did you say? 88? That sounds about right. I
Didn't I,
think.
say, I did say 88, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I think. Look, I think that's good. Anyone else got
Well,
any?
let's see what Ben's copied off my notes. What do you reckon?
I honestly wrote down 88. This is freaking me out.
You didn't.
I'm really concerned. My heart is beating fast. What's going on?
Are you concerned that Tom's actually just hacked your Google Drive or something?
This would be a great bit if I had actually stolen your notes and they were just here printed in front of me. But I haven't, Ben. You're just at the same level that I'm at, which is, it's impressive you've got there. It's taking you a while, but now you're with me.
I spent all day when I should have been working researching this stuff just for Tom to go, oh, they used to be good. 88, bang. That's exactly what I said.
Tom, who could literally name one player on this squad.
Yeah.
I'm on the record as saying the Astros are not winning this division, so I will put in 88, but I will also then say Texas Rangers.
He
89.
believes in DeGrom. That's who he believes in.
I do believe in Jacob deGrom as long as he's healthy, for however long that might be.
I don't know if it's my turn, but should we do the Rangers now?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's talk it through. I want to believe in the Rangers, and I definitely want to believe in Jacob deGrom. He's one of my favourite players, and it'll be awesome to see him pitch again this season. And if he stays healthy, he's going to be a monster and will cover up a lot of the holes on this team. But let's not forget who they just signed to be part of their rotation, Patrick Corbin, and that concerns me. That's not the move of a team that's going to be, tearing up trees this season. God bless Patrick Corbin for still being around. But yeah, I think it comes down to health with this team. The lineup's great. Semien, Seager, Langford, Garcia, they're all going to bring thump. You've got extra pieces around that could be really valuable if they can stay healthy. And then, the rotation. This is so fun, right? DeGrom, Eovaldi, Kumar Rocker's made the team, Jack Leiter's made the team. Like, that is an awesome combination of really good pitchers. I just worry that multiple arms will break in the next several weeks, never mind months, and that they're going to end up saying, God, remember how good we thought the Rangers were going to be. So I have them, worse than the Astros, but still pretty good in the mid-80s. I think 85, 86 is fine. They'll run the Astros close, with the upside that, if it all clicks and they stay healthy, they probably do win this division. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah,
stunned silence.
I think it sounds. I mean, Darius wants them to be higher, so it's really.
I've already declared my position. So
how many?
I think the Rangers' problem last year was that the lineup sucked. Like, the pitching was all right, and they didn't get the good lineup back. So yeah, if Adolis Garcia collapses again, and Seager's more hurt than is ideal, and Semien doesn't come back, then yeah, it's a problem. But I think the lineup's going to be really good. And I do think they have enough pitching. There's probably, Patrick Corbin aside, at least 7 guys here that I would be happy to have in a rotation, including, Jack DeGrom plus, Kumar Rocker could be an ace if Otley's become a very good pitcher. So, yeah, I think they have a little bit more than the Astros do. And I certainly like the depth a little bit more. But we can put 85, 86, and, I'll do a Tom at the end of the season when I'm right.
Put 86 in. Okay, Darius, it's your pick.
Okay, we seem to be neglecting the Centrals, so let's do the Cincinnati Reds, who are... I don't really know what the Reds are, actually. I feel like I never really know what the Reds are. I'm not sure what they're doing. I think they're not that great. They've got one of the most exciting players in baseball, and then a real mission.
Two
of the most exciting players in baseball.
And then a load of crap.
Then a mishmash of stuff. If Matt McLean's back and healthy, then that's really good for them, I think. But yeah, they've sort of got a Gavin Lux thing going on. Who knows what's going to go on with that. I think a lot of the rotation is quite bad. They're going to allow a lot of runs, not least in that ballpark. So I think they're kind of like a 75-win team.
That feels quite generous to me. I think they're pretty pants. I think they might finish last in that division. I think they will finish last.
I think they could finish last with 75 wins, though. I think that's just what the Central's like.
Yeah, okay, fine. I also think we're neglecting Central. I am going to go for the Kansas City Royals, who I don't think are actually very good. I think last year they played to their ceiling. Obviously, Bobby Witt is a superstar, is one of the best players in baseball. The rest of their lineup is, outside Vinny Pasquantino, pretty naff. Kyle Isbell, MJ Melendez, Hunter Renfroe, Sal Perez, seemingly somehow still playing and still catching. It's extraordinary. And Jonathan India, who I think is quite a nice player, but not really a difference maker. And then, outside of Cole Reagans, that rotation's kind of held together with sticky tape to me. Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha were both great last year, but when could you have said that in the last 5 or 6 years that they were both great in the same year? And Michael Lorenzen, I mean, really? I don't think they're very good. I think a lot of people got sort of high on their own supply about them last year because Bobby Witt was amazing and Seth Lugo throws a bunch of curveballs and people like that. I think they are a 76-win team.
I'm kind of with you. I didn't have them that low, but I do think Bobby Witt had one of the best seasons we've ever seen last year, and they had 2 of the top 5 in Cy Young voting, and they still just crept into the playoffs. I think it's fair to expect there will be a little bit of negative regression from what they were able to do then. I don't like the lineup outside of Witt and Pasquantino, as you mentioned, and yeah, I think they will struggle a bit, even in this division, which doesn't feel super strong. I had them more around 500, but if you want to go below, then...
Look, last year, Bobby Witt was 10 WAR, and it's arguable that he, Reagans, and Seth Lugo had career years in the same year. That's not going to happen again. Any more?
Lock them in. We can always add
76.
76.
There we go.
I can see them being close to 500 just because of the White Sox. But
True.
I don't have any arguments with anything you said about the roster.
Tom, it's back to you.
There's some teams I don't know much about.
You know some players on the Blue Jays, so maybe pick them.
I don't know players on the Blue Jays.
Yeah, you do.
Let's go for the Cardinals. They used to have magic. They don't seem to have much magic anymore. They don't seem to be that good.
They suck.
They don't look good, do they? The lineup is loading. It's very so. Oh, they've got Lars Nootbaar. That is a great name. But they have got a very aging son. Oh, the rotation's very old, isn't it? Jesus, Miles Mikolas at 36. Ouch. Yeah, that's looking old. They're gonna win less than Chicago. They're gonna have 81 wins.
I mean, I think that's quite optimistic. I think this lineup outside of Nootbaar and the fading ghost of Nolan Arenado, who they spent the entire offseason trying to trade, they are naff. And, you know, what self-respecting MLB franchise in the year 2025 is putting Sonny Gray out there as their opening day starter? They're just not very good, and they don't know what they're doing. They should tear it down, but they just can't because because the best fans in baseball would get mad. They are really bad. Like, not Cincinnati bad, but
the thing with the Cardinals is you can never rule them out, but I feel unbelievably comfortable ruling them out this year. Like, they are bad. If you thought Sonny Gray was bad, have you seen who's pitching behind him? It's horrible.
I mean, I don't think Sonny Gray is bad. I'm not arguing the team is good. I'm just saying I think Sonny Gray is good, but the rest of it is bad.
He is good, but is he an opening day starter on a team that has any pretensions of being half decent? No. He's a number 3 starter.
Let's have a pop quiz for Tom. The Cardinals signed one major league player this offseason. Can you name him? You can't.
To be fair, I am looking at the lineup, so
yeah. Look at the page. I'll bet you still can't do it.
As in, it was in the lineup, was he, or is it
no?
in the
Just
rotation?
one across all
player.
Position players and pitchers. They signed one major league player to a deal.
Stephen Matz.
I'll give you a clue. It happened literally last week.
Oh,
maybe 2 weeks ago now. It was this month for sure.
No, I don't know. I'm looking. I have absolutely no idea.
Oh well, look, have we got Phil Maton for you?
Phil Maton.
I think that they might they might be around 500 just because this division sucks, basically.
I think they're below.
Me too.
Okay.
What
are you
did I
going
say?
for?
Did I say 82 or 81?
I think you said 81. What do you reckon, about 78?
Let's say 78 for now.
Right.
Do it.
Ben.
Let's do the Toronto Blue Jays then, seeing as Tom didn't want to. Don't really know what to think about this team. I like the rotation. I think they'll, Gaussman, Bassett, Berrios as a top 3 is good. You've just added Max Scherzer. As long as he's healthy, I think he's still going to be productive, even though he's 41 years old now. So I think last year they got a bit decimated there. I think this year, again, assuming health, they'll be stronger, and that a couple of those guys should bounce back performance-wise. Vladdy and Bichette in contract years, are you going to see them? I don't know, really show up and want to get paid and have career years? Maybe. You have to be hoping so, although you're also particularly worried if you're a Blue Jays fan that they might walk at the end of the year. And then I like some of the additions to give them a bit more depth to the lineup. Anthony Santander's there now. Andres Jimenez is there now. It's kind of like a surely it can't get worse, or surely they have to bounce back a bit with the Blue Jays. I just don't know that the ceiling is there like it used to be. Like, some of the guys are just a bit older and a bit worse now. I've got them down for 83. That might be a bit harsh, but I think they're just above 500 team.
Yeah, I think I basically agree with that. And it's a tough division to get 3 wins. You're going to have to grind every single one out.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they've got a few really, really good players, and that's kind of it. The Springers of the world are going in the tank. I don't think the rotation is very good. If Scherzer could, stay healthy and get back to being Max Scherzer, then maybe it would be better. But I think 83 is pretty reasonable.
It's a bit of a Phillies thing too, where they're getting older, contracts are not looking so great. It's kind of now or never, except the Phillies have got a good roster, and the Blue Jays one still looks just bad and aging. So you kind of worry, especially if Vladdy walks, like what next year's going to look like for them. But
there's definitely a scenario if the first half goes bad where we're tearing this down because we know we're not re-signing Guerrero and there's nothing else.
Is the top of the lineup though going to drag them through it quite well?
Yeah, I mean that's why they're going to win it. That's why they're going to win it. That and Jose Barrios and Max Scherzer is why they're going to win 83 games. I think because they still have good players.
Like you say, it's the AL East though, isn't it? They're going to struggle there.
Yeah, stars and scrubs, isn't it? I like 83. Darius.
All right.
Only 4 left.
Let's do the Pirates, who are, going to be the Pirates and probably not try very hard, even if they're doing okay, kind of like they did last season. I think they're in the Cardinals-Reds range for me. I guess I'll split the two and say 77, but I just don't have any faith in them, even if schemes and company are fantastic. I don't think they're going to supplement the core with what they need to win, and the lineup's pretty bad.
I mean, they're in a position where you could make cogent arguments that either Andrew McCutcheon or Joey Bart are their third best hitter. That ain't really a lineup that you particularly want to be taking to the bank, is it?
No, I mean, we have, I think, 4 players projected as above average for them, and Kutch is one of them. One of them, Spencer Horwitz, who's hurt right now. Nick Gonzalez is on that list, and then Brian Reynolds, of course. Everybody else is a below average here, so that's not good. And yeah, Paul Skeens might be the best pitcher in baseball, but yeah, after him and Jones, who is injured right now, we'll see.
Keller's fine.
37-year-old Tommy Pham leading off. I mean,
yeah.
Jesus.
This is the Bob Nutting experience.
That looks sad.
And he claims that they're losing money because of the size of their analytics team. Extraordinary.
They like to visit Tom graphs.
77. That's why. As I talked about them, I don't think 77 sounds too generous, actually. But
it does.
We'll come back to it.
It's me. The Cleveland Indians. I mean, they are an enigma within a puzzle, within a riddle.
Guardians.
Sorry, my bad. Goodness me, that's old habits die hard. The Cleveland Guardians are...
I hear you're a racist now, John.
Yeah, apparently so. I'm quite tired.
YouTube. Goodbye.
Yeah, oh God. The Cleveland Guardians are weird. I really can't work them out. So much of why they were so great last year was the bullpen. Who is Cade Smith? Why is he this good? Who is Timmy Herrin? Why is he this good? Is Emmanuel Clase actually any good anymore after being wretched in the playoffs? And then they trade away one of their best players because they are the Guardians, and that's what they do. I don't know, man. They just continue to confound expectations. They've signed random people to be in the rotation who are going to inevitably be good. They'll find more relievers who'll be good, and they'll hit enough to be fine. But I still think fine is their ceiling. I think they're around a 500 team. I'm gonna go like 1 over, so 82.
82.
You've convinced me with that, Chad.
I'm fine with this. Yeah, they can surprise us, but guessing who that might be is pointless with the Guardians anyway, because it will be somebody completely random.
It'll be someone you thought was dead, like Alex Cobb.
I want to pull a Darius and put on the record that I think they win the division, but I don't have a coherent argument for why, so I'm just going to say that and leave it at that.
Mate,
I didn't realise
you've been infected by all this time on Tom Grass. You're literally just going, yeah, vibes, mate.
Eye test. That's what it is.
Yeah. Have you even seen Moneyball?
Yeah,
I don't care about stats.
It's one with Patrick Swayze in, isn't it?
Tom, it's you. There are 2 left. Which one would you like to pick? By the way, there's not many wins left, and both of these teams are quite good.
Tampa Bay Rays, they always do some magical stuff, especially when it comes to pitching. And I think Yandy Diaz is a very good player, so I'm going to put that out there. They are going to win. What's the division looking like at the moment? They're going to get more than the Yankees because I just don't like the Yankees. So 86 wins for the Tampa Bay Rays. I hope you like my very convincing argument there.
I mean, you did quite well considering you know nothing about them.
You named a player.
They're generally good though, aren't they? The Rays. They always produce something.
They usually hang around.
Yeah, stick it in. I think that's fair. I mean that division's ridiculous. Who's going to win that? You just could be any of them, probably.
Yeah,
apart
I will
from
not be
Toronto.
surprised if any of these teams wins the division.
There's going to be a few injuries. There's going to be a few people who just outshine what they're expecting, and they'll just destroy that division. Somebody will, but I don't know who.
Ben,
I reckon that's what's going to happen.
do you think the Minnesota Twins are going to win more than 84, or are we going to do what Tom
Ben,
said?
say 84. Please say 84.
Because it kind of feels kind of right to me, but it's your pick.
It does feel kind of right. I honestly, I just think whatever Tom thinks. So Tom, you tell me.
Ben, what's on your sheet? What have you got written down?
What have you
I
got
had
written down?
80. I think the Twins are not going to be that
do
good.
That. Do it, mate. Do it. Say 80.
So I think 80. But
Okay.
I think 84 is a very reasonable. Like, I'm just worried with the Twins. Like, you have 3 great players, and all of them love getting hurt, and I think that is a concern. I think the rotation is good, even for a Joe Ryan hater. I can admit that there are good players and good pitchers in that rotation, and he is one of them. But yeah, it just feels like the variance with them could be massive. Like anywhere between 70 and 90, I would believe you at the end of the season. So I split the difference and said 80. But if we want to put 84 and call it a night, then I won't fight you.
I think you need to put 80, and then we need to work out where we're putting wins.
We've done
Obviously,
well.
you just don't want this conversation to end, mate.
We need to give 2 to the Padres.
Darius, what do
clearly.
you think? Because I'm definitely more 84 than I am 80. And since you and I have teamed up against these dweebs, I'm sort of appealing to you yet again.
I'm happy to give the Twins the division. I think the top 3 of the rotation is very good, and I think they've got several nice bits of the lineup. Yes, it's possible that all 3 of them could be simultaneously injured, and then you look around and go, well, Willie Castro is getting 700 plate appearances, which is a thing that he didn't come far off doing last season, I think. Yeah, I'm fine with 84. Obviously, I'm pro Joe Ryan propaganda at any time. So
Pro Ryan, in fact. Okay, stick 84 in.
No way, we've done it.
are we
We've done
happy
it.
now that you look at it? Does it look right?
I mean, it kind of does, doesn't it? I think they're in the right orders. I'm not happy about Baltimore, but I'm not going to die in a ditch over it.
I mean, that basically just says we think anybody is winning that division. That
Yeah, we don't really have a clue.
We don't know.
All of these teams are good, is basically what we've said there.
I think it might be in order of. I'd definitely be the most surprised if Toronto won the division. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
A
think
good
I
test
think-
though is if we matched last year's. And
I was
we
just checking.
haven't.
Gav will be happy. We've only got 3 repeat division winners, so we haven't
Yeah.
just copied the
Take
standings from
that,
last year.
Gav.
I think
Yeah, so
Miami
that's
are,
pretty good.
are worse than that, but also I don't really know who we're taking wins off to give to other than the Dodgers. You know, like-
I could see the Cubs and the Brewers both being better, just because I don't think the other 3 teams in the Central are very good.
I think that's fair.
I could happily take another 4 wins off the Marlins, for example, and just give them 2 each to the Brewers. And the
Do
Cubs.
it.
Yeah,
Do that.
Do that. That's a very good argument.
Okay, so 86 Cubs. We still want the Brewers to win the division, yeah.
I think so. I think they're a notch ahead of the Cubs.
They're just like Guardians, but sort of NL, aren't they? Like they'll do something and it'll be random, and some pitcher you've never heard of will be lights out.
That AL East looks mean, doesn't it? That does not look fun.
I think the Rays are going to be bad, but
I think there's
might
scope,
disagree with you, Tom.
scope for the Rays, and the Rays will trade away Yandy, for example, if it's going badly.
Yeah, the Rays could. The variance on the Rays is probably one of the bigger ones in baseball. Honestly, them and Cleveland, you're a bit like, who knows? Really, who knows? Because they're the 2 smartest teams in terms of baseball ops. But also, you never really know why or how they're doing it, other than Jeff Sullivan is there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Goodness, and that's got to be record time in terms of getting everything done and being that precise. So there we go. That's our predictions. Let's get that out.
It for the audio people.
Yeah, so I'll do that. NL West, we've got the Dodgers winning the division with 105 wins, followed by the Arizona Diamondbacks with 90, the San Diego Padres with 87, the San Francisco Giants in fourth with 78, and the Colorado Rockies last awful with 58 wins. In the West, Houston, the Astros win the division again with 88, Texas close behind with 86, and Seattle, again, another Cinderella story for a team that won't invest itself, 83 wins. The Sacramento Athletics will get 74 wins. Totally agree with you, Darius. That's what they're going to be called on this podcast. And the Angels, the wretched, blessed Angels, poor old Mike Trout, put him out of his misery, 65 wins. In the Central, the Milwaukee Brewers will win with 87 in the NL. Chicago Cubs just behind them with 86. Then three pretty poor teams. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Cincinnati Reds with 78, 77, and 75 wins respectively. In the AL Central, bit of a bun fight at the top. We have the Twins, the Detroit Tigers, and the Cleveland Guardians within a couple of wins of one another at 84, 83, and 82. The Kansas City Royals are a mirage and will win only 76 games, and the Chicago White Sox are an embarrassment to the sport of baseball and will win only 53. In the East, in the NL, it's as ever a bun fight between those three major metropolitan areas on the East Coast in Atlanta, New York, and Philly. And we've got the Braves top in that division with 92 wins. We're unable to split Juan Soto's Mets and Bryce Harper's Phillies on 89 wins apiece. The Washington Nationals improving with 76 wins, and the Miami Marlins 57 feels generous. That's one we may look back on ruefully and wonder what on earth had gone to our heads when putting them even that high. The AL East, goodness knows, literally any of these teams could win. Baltimore with 90, Boston 88, the Tampa Bay Rays with 86, the New York Yankees with, I think, a very generous 85 wins for a team that is absolutely broken, but at least they've got beards now. And propping that division up, it's the Toronto Blue Jays with 83. So that's how it's going. Do feel free to call back to this later in the season to tell us how useless we are and how we're a disgrace to podcasting. But yes, I hope you've enjoyed joining us this evening for this live stream. Hopefully we're going to see more of that from us over the course of the season. So please go to our YouTube, subscribe, give us a like and a follow on your favourite podcatcher. Give us a 5-star review and a rating. I'm afraid to say that everyone says this on podcasts. It really does help us get the word out, crunch through those algorithms, and we're all about it. Thanks, Darius. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Ben, for your time this evening. Ben, less thanks for your insights. It's been quite weird. We'll see you all again for another podcast very soon. Bye. Bye.